Entry 1, August 3rd. I've settled into the village of Eldergrove, hoping to escape the chaos of the city and find some peace. The village is tucked away in the mountains and surrounded by lush greenery and a serene landscape. It's so beautiful out here. The locals greeted me warmly, though I must say there's something subtly unsettling about their friendliness. And as night fell, an eerie silence and stillness seemed to descend upon the village. It's so quiet that it's almost oppressive, like the air itself is holding its breath. As much as it seems lovely, I can't shake the feeling that something isn't quite right here. Entry 2, August 4th. Tonight as the sun set, I heard an old bell tolling from the church. It's an ancient, mournful sound that resonates through the village. What was weird is that all the villagers seemed to drop whatever they were doing and head towards the church when they heard it. Windows were pulled down, doors locked with a precision that felt almost ritualistic. My curiosity got the better of me, so I decided to follow at a distance. From the shadows, I watched as they entered the church without a single word. The silence was profound, almost suffocating. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was witnessing something deeply wrong. I didn't see anything else tonight, but I think I'll ask around tomorrow. Entry 3, August 5th. I tried to ask a neighbour about the church, but he gave me a vague answer about tradition and changed the subject. It's clear that they don't want to discuss it. But tonight I decided to investigate for myself. I waited until the villagers had gone to the church and sneaked in through a side door. The interior was dimly lit, casting long, eerie shadows. Rows of pews faced an altar, adorned with symbols I couldn't recognize. The villagers were seated in perfect rows, their eyes vacant and focused straight ahead. I felt a growing dread in my chest, a sense of impending doom. I'm feeling overwhelmed, so I'll continue this entry tomorrow. Entry 4, August 6th. What I witnessed inside the church last night was more disturbing than I could have imagined. The air was heavy and thick, with an almost tangible sense of dread. A robed figure stood at the front, chanting in a language I didn't understand. The villagers seemed to sit in unison, their faces blank and their eyes glazed over. The atmosphere was so oppressive that it felt like the walls were closing in. I felt like I was struggling to breathe, overwhelmed by a sensation of being watched and trapped. The chant grew louder and the villagers began to join in, their voices blending into a haunting hymn. I felt an inexplicable pull towards them, a dangerous allure that I could barely resist. The hymn seemed to seep into my mind, filling it with disturbing images of a blood-soaked stone deity. I fought the urge to join them, but the melody was relentless, invading my thoughts and fueling my terror. I felt like if I opened my lips, I would sing, but I didn't know the words. I just seemed to know them. My heart raced uncontrollably and I stumbled out of the church, gasping for breath. Entry 5, August 8th. I didn't journal yesterday because my thoughts were scattered. The visions of the stone entity have not left me since that night. They haunt my dreams and plague my waking hours. It's clear now that the entity is not just a figment of my imagination. It has a real and terrifying hold over the villagers. I've tried to warn them, but they dismiss my fears as nonsense. The hymn's influence grows stronger every day, enveloping everyone in its dark grip. I'm terrified that if I stay, I might be consumed by the same madness that they are. Entry 6, August 9th. Today I found an old newspaper article while digging through local records. It detailed the history of a cult that once thrived in this village. The cult was devoted to an ancient deity. The name of the deity I couldn't find, but this is what I found. The church was their sanctuary, and the hymn was a tool for control used by the cult. The article spoke of horrific sacrifices and unbreakable oaths of loyalty to the entity. Reading about it made my blood run cold. The silence I've been experiencing isn't just an oddity, it's a deliberate dark force that binds the villagers to the entity's will. Entry 7, August 10th. The hymn's influence has become unbearable. I can't stay here any longer. Tonight I packed my things in a hurry, my hands shaking as I worked. As I drove away from Eldergrove, I glanced back and saw the villagers standing outside their homes. Their eyes seemed to glow faintly in the darkness, a ghostly reminder of what I was leaving behind. Maybe the lack of sleep was just making my mind play tricks on me. The hymn's eerie melody seemed to follow me, a chilling echo of the nightmare I'd escaped. I could still hear it faintly in the distance, a constant reminder of the terror I fled. Entry 8, August 11th. I'm safe now, but the experience has left me deeply scarred. The hymn seems to continue to haunt my dreams, and the face of the stone entity lingers in my thoughts even though I only glanced at an image. I share my story as a warning. Some secrets really are better left uncovered. The silence of Eldergrove is not one of peace, but rather of dread. A veil that traps its inhabitants in an unending cycle of fear and control. If you ever find yourself in a village that falls silent at dusk, take my advice and leave before it's too late. The hymn is now more than a melody. It really is a dark force that can ensnare you completely. The silent congregation is not a mere tale. It's a living nightmare, waiting in the shadows for the unwary. I might have left Eldergrove, but I don't think Eldergrove will ever leave me.